Alright guys, it's a day early and I'm going there because, quite frankly, you've been clamoring for this and I wanted to do this while my thoughts were fresh. So, Infamous Second Son review. I'm going to warn you up front, at the end of the video, I'm going to take the shared video that I have from basically the last few minutes of gameplay that I had prior to beating the game. Outside of revealing the final boss's look, and possibly a strategy, there's no story spoilers, but bear in mind, I'm going to caveat and say, hey, here's the ending I'm showing with the spoilers. I'm not showing any story. So if you don't care if you know what the boss looks like, okay, you're cool. But know up front that there's going to be a point in this video where you have to stop watching if you don't want to know what the final boss looks like, okay? At least for the good portion of the story. So I've warned you up front. I'm going to warn you before it actually happens. That way we're all clear. This is definitely a next-gen experience. People are going to argue with me that the gameplay itself, aside from control variances, possibly, aren't a huge upgrade, if any, from previous installments of Infamous. That's arguable, but, you know, if you're going to play a side-scrolling platform where you run, you jump, how do you make that next gen? What are you supposed to do? Like, I have no idea. Like Gun is next gen because they just made it graphically and conceptually superior. Like, you can't play that game on another system because there's just too much going on. Beautiful to look at. And I think Infamous Second Son is very much the same thing, where it's similar gameplay to what's been done in the past. It expands upon it in many ways. Trickles it down to its, its purest form and lets you just run and gun and do what you got to do. I have said in the past that I really hoped it was similar to Crackdown in the way that it plays, because Infamous plays the same way as Crackdown. Like I said before, Crackdown was basically Microsoft's answer to Infamous in terms of the style of gameplay, and Infamous Second Son reminds me in all of the best ways of the experience I originally had with Crackdown, which was my first game of that type. So that's why I make the comparison. The powers are varied, but probably not as much as you would hope. Definitely a lot of cool stuff going on. I love the different applications for each thing. You kind of got different classes for each power. You've got your projectile, you've got your heavy projectile, you've got some kind of locomotion, and then some other special ability that's unique just to that. And of course, your super heavy thing, you've got a gauge like spoiler in the trailer where he goes up in the air and comes back down and wham, that's a power. That's a smoke power. But each power has their version of that mega thing, and the way you earn that is by karma, by putting your karma up. If you're good, and if you're bad, you gotta be really evil to build that up, which means it's a lot easier to be more destructive. And that's the thing. If you haven't played this game yet, I really strongly advise you go through it on the normal difficulty setting as a good guy, because that's much harder. And then when you go back through the second time, ramp the difficulty up to hard, and then use that as evil, because evil is easier to maintain because you don't have to give a fuck. So that way the game will kind of balance it out. It's not going to be horribly frustrating, though it definitely, it can get very frustrating. Like, I love, like, this button here was my best friend while playing Infamous Second Son this week, and I took the whole week playing it because I wanted to. I wanted to take my time, damn it. It was important to me, because I didn't want to sit there and just play it through. Because the campaign is, if you stick to only the campaign, don't do any side missions, yeah, it's kind of short. But that's not the way they're meant for you to play it. They want you to play the occasional side mission or whatever. And that's great. But yeah, it's short-ish, but it's not the shortest thing I've ever played. It's definitely a worthwhile experience, and I didn't play the bulk of the side missions. I played like one of each type, including the paper trail, which is really cool. For those of you who don't know, when you get the game, there's registration to go to the website, and basically you're linking with this website, and they're piping DLC down to you for free. Adds an extra couple hours of gameplay, which is meant to be incentive to come back and play after you've beaten it. When you beat the game proper, you see the story ending that you're supposed to have, you see the credits, and then they put you right back into the city, open world, so you can finish off what you're doing. Very much in the vein of like a Crackdown or the earlier Infamous games as well. So I have a game save file for my good side. I'm going to have a new game for Evil as well. Really cool to be able to, because conceivably at some point I'll be able to just leapfrog between those two worlds at any point that I want and experience the game, and probably have some DLC that's going to be coming that way, and I will gladly pay for it, Sucker Punch, because I think this game was done completely. You're giving us free DLC off the bat. There's just a lot of really cool stuff that you're doing. So I'm just really excited. You meet an interesting cast of characters throughout the game, being that there's... It's not a overly complex story. It's more like you've got a fairly straightforward timeline, a very straightforward story, and you learn more about characters as you meet them in an interesting, storytelling device. The main cutscenes are absolutely gorgeous. Makes Last of Us look like last gen, to be perfectly honest. When this game is firing on all cylinders with its cinematics, wow. Which, given the rumor recently that they're taking Last of Us to PS4 as an Ultimate Edition, which, I'm not lying, I'd buy it. Just, if for no other reason than to be able to play multiplayer on a PS4 with party and with the graphical upgrades and the sound and everything else. It would just be great. It would be nice to know that multiplayer is being revitalized in some way, but I kind of doubt they're actually doing that, because how are they going to sell PS now? I don't understand. That's for another video. But the cutscenes are amazing. The story is well done. Some of you may have already seen on Twitter where I said that the game made me cry twice. It did. There's two story parts that made me cry, and I'm not going to give them away because I don't want anyone to anticipate this or that. I tend to get emotionally involved with most games because from a story standpoint, I'm empathizing with the character usually. I'm sympathizing with the character. This is one of those rare story moments where, for some reason, I don't know what it was, that for a split second, for a moment, I felt that something was happening to me and not to the character. Like I felt the emotions that the character was feeling, and I'm not going to give those away. But I did shed tears over it, and it happened again when I was reminded of that moment. And the last game that did that to me was Last of Us. And Beyond to a lesser degree. If you give me a good story and you give me a reason to be involved with the character, I'm going to go on that journey with that character. Tomb Raider, for example, like with Lara Croft, it was a fairly predictable story for me. I thought it was a very well done story, but I got what I expected. There were no twists or turns, really. But it was done well. It was done very, very well. This didn't have any real twists or turns that I expected to see. Some things did happen that I wasn't expecting, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a M. Night Shyamalan watching Sixth Sense for the first time movie experience. It wasn't anything like that out of control, but it was paced right. Things gave you right motivations. Things happened. You got to know these characters. You got to see these characters bond, and good game. If you're on the fence about buying this, get it. This is the first fully fledged, fully fleshed next gen exclusive for Sony PlayStation 4. That's all there is to it. Because Killzone was a great tech demo. Excellent multiplayer. The story was meh. But the gameplay was solid all the way through. This game has great gameplay. It's got great story, excellent replayability value. The platinum is challenging without being impossible. There's no multiplayer. You don't have to mess with shit. It's just at its core, just a great all-around game. I'm not prone to doing decimals, but I'm going to go at a 9.5 out of 10, with the 0.5 only being due to if the campaign was slightly shorter than I would have liked. This was a benefit and a detriment in that I didn't want to have to play a ridiculously long campaign to get through, because I wanted to go back and play as the evil. So I think really, if you put the two campaigns back to back and look at how much extra story you're going to get, that kind of negates that argument. No, fuck that. I'm going to give it a 10. Fuck that. 10! God damn it. I went in expecting something. I got what I expected and a little bit more. Never encountered any glitches or any kind of issues whatsoever with the game itself. Having a great time playing. I'm going to continue playing it. I'm going to replay this. This is a classic. 10! And now I'm going to show you the last moments of me playing through the game the first time. And what you're going to be hearing is me speaking to some buddies in party chat. And because I didn't realize this was when I was going to be beating the game, I was having some personal conversations with friends, and rather than put them in an awkward position, I'm not going to edit the video because I want it to be seamless, but I am going to cover up the audio so that you don't hear anything you're not supposed to hear. There's only 2 small instances of it for a few seconds, so when you hear something that isn't from the game or isn't my voice, that's why you're hearing that, because I want to, protect everyone's privacy and so forth. Other than that, what you hear is actual, captured from the share button footage of me beating the final boss of Infamous. Final warning, if you don't want to know what the final boss looks like or how to beat it, don't watch the video from here. So I appreciate you watching up to this point. Thanks for subscribing, and as always, keep on grinding. This is Grindhead Jim beating Infamous Second Son. Minor spoilers. Thanks, guys.
Shit. Get off me, man! Jesus Christ! Oh, no, it's the... Oh, shit, I didn't die! Oh, shit, I didn't die! Oh, shit, get out of the way, tree! Ah! Oh, what's going on YouTube? Don't you worry about that. Because this is all I hear you say, get out of the way, tree, son! I ain't here, no fat lady! This fucking tree, man! All this shit's going on, this tree survived. I don't care if it's supposed to be some allegory for the human condition or what the fuck, but the tree's pissing me off. It's in my way, it's gotta go. I don't have that option, sir. Like, I'm shooting at it, and it just stands there like, hey, you know what? I'm a pre-rendered background piece. I don't do nothing in the environment at all. Holy shit, I think I did it! Oh, fucking finally.